we can't get it.
So you see how much the numbers are taking from victims.
My thing is, government will all the stakeholders together, and I think we get them. The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
But the support that is needed. And once you get the support, your energy will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Inside Nigeria, being brought to you on Leadership Television. With me in the studio is our public affairs analyst, who is an in-house, Paul Auguste Agbo. He will be reviewing the papers for discussion this Thursday. Yes. And I'm Winifred Ugwebo. I'm your host for today's program. As usual, we have 4 papers for review. They are Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership, Blueprint newspaper, This Day, and our sister publication, National Economy. And of course, we are flagging up with our staple, Leadership. Leadership newspaper, rising insecurity, frightened senators tell President Muhammadu Buhari to sit up or face impeachment. Rising insecurity, frightened senators tell President Muhammadu Buhari to sit up or face impeachment. Riders, we have give president 6 weeks to end insecurity. Is belated attempt by lawmakers, according to a social cultural organization, PANDEP, CSOs. We are working to bring situation under control, federal government. Lawmakers action just bravado, call for anarchy, presidency. National government shuts schools over security threats. That's the leading story on Leadership this Thursday, July 28, 2022. But we'll take it again before we move on to another paper that also has the same headline story with Leadership. Rising insecurity, fighting senators tell President Muhammadu Buhari to sit up or face impeachment. Give President 6 weeks to end insecurity. That is a month and a half. Is belated attempt by lawmakers, PANDEP, CSOs. We are working to bring situation under control, federal government. Lawmakers action just bravado, call for anarchy, presidency. National government shuts schools over security threats. Leading story on Leadership. Let's see what Blueprint newspaper has to say on this security matter. Blueprint newspaper, worsening insecurity, impeachment threats on Buhari needless, Lai Mohammed. Worsening insecurity, impeachment threat on Buhari needless, Lai. We are working around the clock to address lawmakers' concerns. President must step up in 6 weeks or bar out senators. National government shuts down schools. 3 kids in Benguari, 13 abducted. Our problems beyond party politics, Obasanjo. Stories on page 5 and 6 of Blueprint newspaper. Paul, now the story is on you. Impeachment threat on Buhari needless. You know, the media was awash yesterday with a report that the senators, lawmakers were moving to impeach President Buhari over worsening security situation. So what are you going to say? Because for most of us, we thought that it was just sheer bravado, as the presidency said.
Yes.
Do you see it that way?
Well,
And we also read report that the opposition also worked out when.
Yes, they did. They did work out when the Senate president did not allow their motion also
To say true.
to skate through, and they felt betrayed that they discussed the matter in a closed door section. Perhaps with the Senate president didn't want to, as a loyal party man, he can't be seen
To be,
to be against the administration of President Muhammadu
which is
Buhari.
part of.
And that is why the
official.
minority caucus got angry and felt betrayed. Well, that is not even my problem. I just love what former President Obasanjo said, that our problem is beyond the party politics. It's right. It's absolutely right. Now, the presidency is now looking at the whole matter from a political angle. Look at the way the spokesperson of the president described elected lawmakers.
Mm.
You can't describe a lawmaker as that they are babyish with no probability. You can't do that in other climes. You can't say that of lawmakers in other climes. But this is Nigeria. Anything is possible.
No, do you think with the statement utterances they are trying to trivialize the security situation we have
Yes.
in our country?
But I think it's born out of frustration. The lawmaker are as frustrated as you and I and
Yes.
other Nigerians in the streets. You could feel the fear, the tension.
Mm-hmm.
You could feel it, the palpable tension in
Yes.
Abuja
Yes.
over
And all across the country.
all
and
across
yesterday
the
night
country.
we heard too there was another attack in Owo.
Yes, there was an attack.
But
in
now
Owo.
we don't even know how many
Yes,
lives.
and the Nasarawa state government
Has
shutting
shut
down schools. Why did the Nasarawa government decide to shut down schools? It's because of security threat. So it means that the whole situation is getting worse. It's getting worse by the day, and people are fighting. People are really fighting. I can bet you that those who take records, who handle data in churches on Sunday, will witness a low turnout next Sunday. I can bet you. Because part of the warning by various organizations,
Yes,
I just read that
security
of ECOWAS, security alert. I just read that of ECOWAS. It specifically mentioned worship centers,
Worship centers. Yes.
markets, motor parks, even drinking spots.
Mm.
All these things were mentioned. So it's a combination of all these things. And now the general fear now is that we don't even know where where the next place
And you know there
that
have
we
been
attacked.
security breaches. We heard about a guys brigade. Some of
Yes,
the
that's
soldiers,
the
you know,
that's the
and
most, one of the
they
most
tried to
disappointing.
deny, you
Yes.
know, cover it up.
No,
at the
there was an
beginning, but-
attack. There was an ambush. It's in the news. It's in the public glare. It's not something that anybody will start denying. The elite force. That is the prestigious arm of the Nigerian military. It's just like the Revolutionary Guards of the United States, of Iran,
Iran.
and special forces in the US, the Marine, and the rest.
Yes.
These are special trained military men, and they are just ambushed in such a way that makes them look so weak between Kubwa and Buhari. Our allied military force attacked, ambushed, and officers killed. The question now is that how many of those attackers
Were killed.
were neutralized?
Exactly.
The military word for killing. How many of these attackers were neutralized? No record.
No record.
So it means they got ordered to hands down
Mm.
while the adversary, the enemies
Came upon them.
came upon them and killed them. These are some of the sad tales of Nigeria in recent time that has got many people like the members of the National Assembly worried. I've said it before, and I'll say it again, that a prominent senator had to stay back in Kaduna because he couldn't get a lift in a private jet to fly to Abuja. Not that he doesn't have the resources to travel by road. He has the routine of cars, but he's afraid. So the tension is everywhere.
It's everywhere
And,
across the country.
and that is why you see, you will not blame the senators. I know their effort to amount to
Exercising 15
yes,
weeks.
it's
Because at
just
the
an
end of the
exercise
day,
in 15
6
because
weeks, and
one,
the president was giving 6 weeks. What
they are
can you see going to
minorities.
do in 6 weeks?
APC senators will not join them, even though they will grumble behind closed doors, but they will not join them. So they are minorities, although their voices will be heard, but they cannot remove the president. They cannot. And that is why
What
the
I'm saying
spokesman
is
of
that they
president-
gave the president 6 weeks to
Can-
6 weeks. What can he do in 6
He
weeks?
won't-
That is a month and a half.
going by what we are saying, nothing will happen. If you let us tell ourselves that, except the miracle will happen. Anything that happens in 6 weeks will be miracle.
What can be done? Because on our cover, on the leadership cover on Monday, we did say that he said we cannot cap a bomb forest because some innocent people are there.
But and
So
some heads are don't,
some excuses are always being
and he
given
cannot
why.
sack. He doesn't
why-
have the political
yeah,
will to sack people
to
he
sack.
appointed. These are some
Excuses
of
are
the
always
things.
given why we cannot. And these are the people that also came to Abuja, Kuje, and they operated for 2 hours.
Yes,
2 hours on challenge.
don't challenge and move their members in convoy and pass through federal roads manned by Nigerian security.
I mean, what is happening?
What what is happening is compromise, inefficiency, a lot of complicity in government. They make the people who are supposed to do protect us are complicit. They've compromised because and it's a slap on us that we've been wasting resources training top security men. We have sent people to Turkey, we have sent people to Israel, to Jordan, to the United States, to UK, with taxpayers' money. But this is what we are getting. People can easily walk into Abuja, break into a jail, pick whatever they want to pick, and go, and also threaten us to the level that we are forced to shut down schools in the federal capital territory that ordinarily should be the most protected
where the president is.
Yes,
Power.
region in
Seat of
Nigeria.
power.
Yes, Nigeria seat of power. It means that one day we'll wake up and we'll see bandits all over town running riot if care is not taken.
And the people's opinion is that security agencies, they do get security report, like what you said. Getting security reports about security breaches and other stuff. Why don't they then arrest the situation? Since they already know what is happening, what's going to take place.
Our nation.
Why are they not moving to avert this?
It's a big question that it's a
looming
million-dollar question
disasters.
that only the president can answer us. Because one, the buck stops on his table, and he's the commander in chief. Recently, the deputy speaker Wase said he got about 44 security reports on the Proud Day attack. 44. That's alarming. Not one, not two, 44. That's when somebody did not act. So he gives credence to the saying that the whole thing was managed to free those gentlemen in detention. And that is not good at all. It's not good. It means that somebody is filtering reports before it gets to Mr. President, or Mr. President is not reading it, or perhaps with due respect to his office, does not understand what those security reports.
Being a security man, like somebody in the military before.
And that's the saddest part of the whole thing. If Mr. President happens to be somebody who goes through the civilian ranks, then I would say, okay, perhaps because he is from the civilian community. But he's from the military community, who rose to the rank of the major general. He has even fought war. He has war experience. Yes. So why is it that we are faced with this dilemma? Something is wrong somewhere that somebody is not saying, is not telling us the truth.
Now, these are impeachment threats. Is it not a bit too late?
It's too late. Nothing will happen, Winifred. I have said it before that nothing will happen, and nothing will happen because one, the minority, they are just expressing their frustration, which is allowed in democracy. They've had their say, but they will never have their way because one, they don't have the majority. If the APC had lost that, recall 20 senators are threatened to defect.
Yes.
If they are defected, then the presidency will be shaky. But now they still have the majority. He just to call all of them, whip them into line and say, look, don't dare go that way. They can go to their houses and lament. But when it comes to the floor of the National Assembly, they are all in the hands of Lawa, controlled by somebody outside. So they can't afford to be seen to betray.
Perhaps,
the presidency.
maybe perhaps in this administration, because in previous administration, like PDP, we saw Magali number,
Try to
and even the current national state government, Masari, trying to impeach Obasanjo that time, President Olusegun Obasanjo.
How did it end? All in failure.
Don't go there.
It all ended in failure. So this one will also go that way. Like the spokesperson of the president said, they will have their say, but they will not have their way. But I do not appreciate using harsh word on elected lawmakers. Say babish, bravado. You just simply say they will have their say. It's allowed in democracy, but I don't think they will have their way
Mm.
because we still have the majority. And I don't see our senators attempting to remove the commander in chief. Yeah. So that for me, I do not appreciate the language, the choice of words by the spokesperson of the president. But these lawmakers will not have their way. I can bet you.
It's really, really sad.
But it's a good thing that they reawaken the consciousness of the president
Okay.
to the reality on ground. And that is the beauty of democracy.
Thank you so much. That is on the insecurity issues confronting the country presently. From leadership blueprint, moving over to the main cover on this day newspaper. Let's see what this leading story is talking about. This day, oil theft, petrol subsidy pushed Nigeria's currency to 700 naira per dollar in parallel market. Oil theft, petrol subsidy pushed Nigeria's currency to 700 naira to per $1 in parallel market. Federal government at wit's end as borrowing grows. Eurobond approaches junk status. Navy unwilling to halt oil theft menace as attacks reduce in Gulf. Nigeria's economy to shrink further as petrol subsidy exceeds revenues from oil sales. TMP Nigeria's 180,000 barrel
Are they?
per day pipeline dries up, worsens oil production woes. That is the leading story on this day, Thursday, 28 July 2022. I'll take it again. Oil theft petrol subsidy pushed Nigeria's currency to 700 naira per $1 in parallel market. Federal government at wit's end as borrowing grows. Eurobond approaches junk status. Navy unwilling to halt oil theft menace as attacks reduce in Gulf. Nigeria's economy to shrink further as petrol subsidy exceeds revenue from oil sales. TMP Nigeria's 180,000 production per day pipeline dries up, worsens oil production woes. We have a problem on our hands, a
A big
huge
one.
one on that.
A big one. You see, the problem is triple-headed. It's triple-headed. We have the economy woes. we
And
have
before you start talking,
insecurity,
it's almost the same story we have on our sister publication, National Economy. National Economy says Naira sustains free fall at parallel market, weakens 8% to 710 per dollar in 5 days. Naira sustains free fall at parallel market, weakens 8% to 710 naira per $1 in 5 days. The leading story cover on National Economy today, 28 July 2022. And incidentally, it's the same story this day newspaper is leading with.
the free fall started when Naira crossed into crossed to 500 Naira per dollar. And some analysts lamented that that the inflation rate, the way our inflation rate is rising, portends danger to the economy. As of today, the inflation rate is about 17.7. And I can assure you that in the next few months,
It's going
when
to
they release the next statistics and things like that, it will go up. Some people have even projected that by the end of the year, we will close the year
with 1,000 to
with
1,000.
about 27.5 or so percent inflation. Then exchange rate will be about 1,000
Naira.
1,000 naira
To a dollar.
to a dollar. And that's dangerous. I can bet you that would be dangerous. Because bread in some places have crossed the 1,000 naira mark.
1,000. Yes, it has.
And this thing
It
has
has.
multiple effects. When your local currency loses value or free fall against major world currency, and you are an import net country, you are in serious trouble because you have to buy those materials or those goods that are not manufactured in your country from other places.
Yes, and you have to use
dollar.
foreign exchange.
You have to use foreign exchange, either in pounds, euro, or the big one, the US dollar. So it is a dangerous point. We are at a tipping point because it will get to a level that people can no longer afford the basic things. Disposable income in people's hand dry up easily, and that's dangerous because it will force more Nigerians into poverty. It will increase the cost of goods and services.
But one begins to wonder how Nigeria got to this level, because when it was rising, I remember the CBN governor telling Nigerians that there's no cause for alarm, that they were trying to see how they can manage it. But now we see what is happening.
Winifred,
The Senate summoned the CBN governor. We don't know how
the CBN governor is helpless because everything is benchmark on production. Even with the sector that we appear to be doing well, to be enjoying economic development, which is the oil and gas sector, our share from OPEC for daily production is about 1.7 million barrels per day. What are we producing today? About 1.1 million barrels. That's when we have a shortfall.
We are having a shortfall.
Yes, of over 500,000 barrels per day, owing to disruption, stealing of oil, crude oil, and several other factors around the blue economy, Nigeria's blue economy, and that has not been addressed over time. We are not earning well from the oil sector, and we are not manufacturing.
We are not refining.
We are not refining. We are not manufacturing basic goods that are consumed in the country. So we are at the mercy of the dollar. Our currency cannot do well, no matter the policy, the intervention of the Central Bank of Nigeria, led by Godwin Emefiele. It will not change things because the strength of the currency is predicated on production. What you produce. Why is the rand, the South African rand, not falling like that? Why is the Egyptian pound and others not falling? Because they are manufacturing. You and I consume virtually, go to our home, even right now, right here. Virtually everything here was manufactured somewhere else, either in China, mostly in China. So it is a major crisis. And the thing will not get better for as long as the state of electricity in Nigeria remains the same. It won't get better. People are investing more in alternative energy to sustain their businesses. And you think they will not recoup their money. Prices will go up. Prices will go up, sales will drop because people's disposable income is overstretched. You want to buy gas, it has increased by about 200 naira from the one you bought last month. Your disposable income is affected. And very soon, I can bet you that landlords will also increase their rent.
Oh, yes.
And that will also mount further pressure. By the time schools resume, proprietors, owners of school will increase school fees owing to other variables that affect them, economic variables that affect them. So you can see that it's a big problem. And the president is distracted by so many challenges, insecurity, corruption, then this. The president has not been talking about the economy. It's only the CBN and the finance minister. Unfortunately, I pity the two of them because they've been receiving bashing.
Yes, that's where I'm also going to. Recently, or a few days ago, the Minister of Finance did tell us that our budget, we had a budget deficit, that our revenue was far below expectations and fall short of how much we are owing. And so if we cannot make up now, because we have been servicing our debt, so what are the implications for Nigeria?
The money will be servicing debt, which is even more than the revenue.
Yes, the revenue. That's what it means.
And that's dangerous. What are we doing? We are just working for creditors. As it is, we are just working for creditors. Government will not have money to pump into critical sectors of the economy.
And remember
like infrastructure, health, education.
Yes. And you remember the acting AGF that was removed did say that they were borrowing money. The federal government was borrowing money to pay salaries, and he was removed.
That was the sin.
Don't you think that in the face of the former, the suspended AGF, the amount he was said to have looted about 109 billion allegedly. That's what I said was said to have. You understand? Are there not too many loopholes? There are not. There are so many plots in the sector that
Buhari inherited it and he sustained it. We thought by now all those loopholes will
that
must
a
have been
whole
blocked.
accountant general of the federation could have. I even read from of the charge sheets that the oil producing state governors even bribed him with 15 billion naira just to facilitate their money.
That is how they made some of these public officers make money. Bribe.
But there are too many
Yes.
loopholes. What can be
Nigeria,
done
Nigeria
to
is more
block
or
them?
less a banana republic where anything and it's worse under the present administration. It doesn't sack. No suspension. Nothing.
They are even rewarded.
They are
But,
sometimes they
service
are rewarded.
chiefs.
Yes. You just do things and say nothing they happen. You run to perhaps some chieftains of the party and they'll say, okay, no problem. Donate one or two things to the party. They will go and use that one as excuse that look, oh, he's a party supporter. He has been donating, supporting the party with this and that. And before you know, the matter is swept under the carpet, and life goes on. But anything you do has a ripple effect on the economy. Anything you do has a ripple effect. Like they will take, for instance, if you spend 100 billion naira in the power sector and electricity improved by maybe 1,500 megawatts, in addition to the 3,000 megawatts, it means that we have 4,000 megawatts. Other countries were able to improve their power, double their power supply in 4 years. So it's possible here, but we don't have the political will to take decisive action that will improve the quality of life in Nigeria. We don't have the political will. It's clear. So it's left for the president's aides and his appointees to just curry the situation, just like what the Minister of Finance said, that the economy is doing better than the way they met it in 2015. And she has been receiving a lot of bashing. And you don't blame her. She's just doing her job. You don't expect the Minister of Finance to come before the world and say Nigeria economy is not doing well. We are heading towards recession. We are broke. Excellent. He should be fired. In a bad
You
situation,
had the
you
former
are
head of state
expected
that
to keep
told
a
us
brave
that
face.
he doesn't know Nigeria is not moving forward with that. It has defied logic.
Who-
A former head of state did say that.
Nigeria has not defied logic. The problem is that we have too many interventions in governance. We allow too many inputs before we take decision. If the president wakes up today and say, look, after meeting his kitchen cabinet, and say this is the way we want to go, regardless of whatever people will say, their action, we don't want to go. You just announce it. And immediately you start implementation. If you do that 1, 2, 3, 4 times, people will sit up. That this man is the man of action. Things will happen, you just keep quiet, you pretend as if you are acting presidential. You're acting presidential. There are people who are less than 50 years managing economies of 2.7 trillion, like France. The French economy is about 2.7 trillion. The British economy is about 2.6 trillion. The German economy is about 3.5 trillion dollars. People managing, except that of Germany, are all young men of less than 55 years. The French president is up to 46. You are here acting presidential. The security guards are all over you. But the economy is not doing well. Where you people visit abroad are managed by young people, men and women. Get down to the business of governance. But here, they try to play politics with everything. If you say anything, they say, look, he's a PDP member, he's opposition. But the Chinese people say, you cannot carve a rotten wood. And that is what is happening. No matter what the Mefele and the Minister of Finance said, Lai Mohammed, Garbashew, Adesina says, you cannot carve a rotten wood. The country is falling, and is really falling. Worsened by insecurity. So you see, we have a big problem on our hands. I pity the next president.
And one thing is that the president seems to be so isolated from what is happening out there, that will make them say that no, that will make somebody like Lai Mohammed to say that the senators were being babyish and share bravado. You understand? Do they really understand what is happening?
I don't think the president understands what is happening. I don't think the president is being briefed properly on issues affecting Nigeria. I don't think the president is being,
So with
because
the
a sane person will not sit down and allow things collapse under his watch. I don't think, and those people, they don't care, because by the time at the end of 20 by May 2029, nobody will be hearing talking about Lai Mohammed. People will be talking about the Buhari administration, the Buhari administration. Nobody will mention Minister of Finance. Nobody will mention Emefiele. Everything will be the Buhari administration. And that is why things are going like this. People that are supposed to talk, perhaps people are, some of them are even afraid of saying their mind. Let us just manage and go in the next 10 months or 9 months. That is the pathetic situation we found
no,
ourselves in.
Paul, with this Naira free fall, what can be done to revert it, to stabilize the free fall?
What do we do to get foreign exchange? We have to get more foreign exchange. What do we do to get foreign exchange? There are too many people running after foreign exchange for personal. Yes.
You did say that
Yes.
there are some students that are up to now, 2 months now, they've not been able to get, who are studying abroad.
But you see, the problem with the issue of students, yes, there are some are genuine and some are not genuine. Nigeria use a lot of give a lot of reasons to get foreign exchange. What I mean by we getting more foreign exchange is by genuinely exporting. We need to improve our quota, our OPEC quota, so that we can get more foreign exchange. We need to improve our non-oil sector export to get foreign exchange, and we need to encourage local manufacturing to discourage the rush for foreign goods. If we don't do that, the country, the economy will not improve. We just need to aim more foreign exchange, not running after foreign exchange. We need to aim more foreign exchange via manufacturing. If we don't improve our manufacturing base, then we cannot. This situation cannot be remedied. We are heading towards the Zimbabwe situation, where you want to go and buy something, you carry Ghana on school and load load Naira, because your exchange rate has depreciated terribly. And God forbid we shouldn't get to the Zimbabwe situation.
The pathetic picture you just painted.
Yes, that is the reality. Because that time you'll be buying one loaf of bread for 5,000 naira. So when you want to go and buy, you can imagine a loaf of 5,000. So if you want to go and buy another item now, when you are going to the market, you carry maybe like 1 million instead of 50,000 naira. You carry 1 million, and you have to carry it in cash.
It's just a sorry situation. Yes, for now we are going on a break. When we come back, we are going to be reviewing the second lead story on Leadership newspaper. Don't go away. Stay tuned.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Yes, you're welcome back in the program. Because you're just tuning in, the program is Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ubebo, and with me in the studio has been Paul Lagbo is an in-house analyst. He's also a social commentator, public affairs analyst. Paul, thank you so much once again for being part of our program. We are going back again to review some more of the newspaper headlines. Good. Let's go to leadership newspaper. Leadership says, okay, above the masthead. Let's have a story above the masthead. Governors reject water resources bill, says it violates constitution. The story is on page 7. And of course, it's also the story that's been making the round since the bill was represented again in the floor of the House of Representatives. And the leadership is coming out with a story that governors reject water resources bill, say it violates constitution. The story is on page 7 of leadership, and it's for discussion now. Paul?
You see, they say allow sleeping dog
Like,
lie. It's a controversial bill.
do sleeping dogs
of-
still lie?
Because of this same bill,
Mm,
there was a subtle threat
mm.
on Gbajabiamila.
Yes, although the northern lawmakers did come out to say that
Mm.
nothing like that.
Yes, some people had to initiate that
Mm.
to send a warning to Gbajabiamila that look, leave this big thing. Some people are hell bent on using instruments of power
Mm.
to get a bill that has issues around it has led to the death of thousands of Nigerians,
Mm.
especially the farmers' headers clashes.
Right.
Some people believe that look, it's still the Ruga, the whatever, all
Okay.
manner of names,
They just gapped in
Yes,
water resources.
yes. giving powers to the federal government to control
The waterways.
what the waterways around the country. And you know what that means. The people of Benue, the people of Kogi, those
Niger
around
Delta,
the Niger
yes.
Delta,
Lagos.
yes,
Lagos that is mainly
especially
water.
the internal inland waters. It's a dangerous thing. Some people see it as dangerous. That it's a way of getting lands for headers,
To the back door.
because of course the headers will say these waters, they are all federal
It's for
government,
everybody.
and it's for everybody. We have control. We also have a right to graze there. So they say it's a grazing bill through the back door. So such controversial bill, I will urge the lawmakers to stay action in order to avoid further bloodshed. Too many souls have been lost unnecessary through unwanted killing and destruction of life and property, including that of even the animals. Even the elders too are not finding life easy.
Easy,
Because
yes.
anywhere
yes.
there's crisis, you cannot live in peace.
Their
There.
cattle is being rustled.
Yes, because if you don't know the value of peace,
Nigerians.
if you don't know the value of peace, let the existing peace be disrupted. And that is the headers who are not finding it easy, because we are hitherto they've been living peacefully, grazing and enjoying quality life has been disrupted. They may not be directly the one killing their host farming resident. It might be because a lot of people believe that look, these are mercenaries hired from other like, and it boils down to national security, issues of national security. How can you say mercenaries are hired and they came from they call them killer headsmen from where? Where how did they get to that Nigeria? How comes it? Or perhaps the Kuje incident, yes, has also exposed us to the reality, to the fact that look, not that the intelligence community have not been working, they've been working, but the commanding authority have not been acting on such intelligence report. So these are some of the challenges. So I would urge those concerned as regards this bill to stay action.
Nigeria is too heated up for
Yes,
now.
Nigeria is too heated up for now, and we don't want further because we are exacerbated. The apprehension over things that hitherto government ought to nip in the bud long ago is still lingering and staring us in the face. So we shouldn't go that way for now. And I'm happy that the governors are also talking. They reject, it violates the Constitution. So, Winifred, for now, I don't think it's a wise thing. It's not a wise thing for our lawmakers to start bringing up this bill that already is tamed. Because as far as
it was thrown out before, and they said it was
a tainted bill. As far as I'm concerned, that bill is tainted. It's tainted, and it's a bill that may likely spill more blood. And we've seen enough. Nearly 50,000 people have been killed under the watch of this government, the highest in the history of Nigerian administration, of governments in Nigeria. Under Buhari, more Nigerians died in violent manner than any administration in the history of this country. So we don't want further bloodshed again. In my candid opinion, the lawmakers should take action. If it violates our constitution, let us keep it aside.
Thank you so much, Paul, for that. It's been a pleasure having you on the program for you to review salient issues on our newspapers today. And well, viewers, before we go, don't forget to get a copy of Leadership Sunday, where you have a Levogue insert. It's coming out this Sunday, 31st July 2022. Don't miss it. It's an all glossy, all colored fashion lifestyle magazine. So do get a copy of Levogue this Sunday. Don't miss it.
We've not been discussing the book, and there are certain interesting stories there that have been featured in the book that ought to have been analyzed, especially those lifestyles, the fashion, and other things. We need to also look at the bright side of our life.
Yes.
Not always discussing
insecurity. So you've heard it. So just get a copy of Leadership Sunday this Sunday, 31st July 2022, where you have an insert of Leadership Levogue. That is where we bring this program Inside Nigeria to health this today, Thursday, 28 July 2022. Don't forget, tomorrow is another day where we have another guest on the program to review and discuss salient issues. I remain Winifred Paul. Nice having you on the program. Look forward to having you same time. Bye, viewers.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.